Hi YouTube family, my name is Cynthia. Welcome to my channel KnitsbyCynt. This is my introduction video, so this is episode 1. I'm gonna try not to do the ums a lot, so forgive me. This is my first video, so I'm a little bit nervous. If you see me looking down, it's because I just wanted to jot down some things that I wanted to include in my first episode. Hopefully I will not keep you very long. Just want to again introduce myself. So who am I? I am a Christian, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a grandmother, I am a registered nurse. So I do work full time at one of our local hospitals as a clinical care coordinator, like a care manager. And I really enjoy what I do. I work 3 12-hour shifts a week, so that means I have 4 days to play. Um, or, or I should say create. I do play a little bit too. Oops, sorry, I just kicked my light. My children are grown up. My children are grown up. My husband's children, he has 2 young adults and 1 teenager. And I also have 5 grandchildren, 4 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. And my children and grandchildren all live in upstate New York. I miss them very much. I'm actually coming to you from Virginia, Stafford, Virginia, which is about 20 minutes from Quantico, 45 minutes or so from Washington, D.C., south of D.C. And I actually really like it here. And I've been here for almost 8 years, I think. So what kind of yarn work do I do? I loom knit, crochet, Tunisian crochet, and I do regular traditional knitting, 2 needle knitting. I do primarily crochet, mostly because it's faster and it's easier to correct the mistakes. Same with Tunisian crochet. How did I get started? So actually, my mom used to crochet when I was a kid. I would see her making like Christmas stockings or some sort of household decorative thing. And I would watch her do it. And I don't know why I never asked her to teach me how to do it, but I didn't. And then fast forward many moons, my oldest daughter was pregnant with her first child. And she knew she was having a boy, so I was like, you know what, I really want to try to make a blanket. So I for whatever the reason, remembered how to do a double crochet stitch. I did not know that it was called a double crochet stitch. I just remember watching her do it, and my sister also knew how to crochet and watching them, and so I just kind of like plugged into the back of my mind and learned how to do it. And this is before I was really involved with watching YouTube. So I didn't know that there was even like channels out there, anything like that. So that was back in the early 2000s, I think. Good grief, I don't even know when the child was born. 2012, I think. So 2011-ish, somewhere around there. But I also was like working on my master's, so I wasn't like trying to pay a whole lot of attention to YouTube at that time because I had to study a lot. So, well, anyway, I did make my grandson a blanket. It was about 5 feet tall, and I'm like 5'9", and it covered me pretty well. And I don't know, I suppose about maybe 36 inches or so wide. And I just got like these jumbo size skeins of red heart yarn, hunter green and navy blue, and I did every other skein until I ran out of yarn. And he still has that. He's 14 years old. It did end up somehow with a ginormous hole in it. It probably was how I secured it. And then it being wear and tear and washed and what have you. But I managed to close it up. He's like, I don't care what it looks like. Can you just fix it? I'm like, sure, I'll try to fix that. And that was like about 3 years ago when I had to repair it. So that was my first, I would say, real crochet project or yarn project, period. And then I did make another one for my second grandson about 2 years later. And then I didn't do anything for a while. And then when I moved here to Virginia, about a year or so after we moved into our house, so that was in 2016, I just felt like my craftiness wanted to come out. And so I actually saw looms. I'm like, what in the world do you do with these things? I had no idea what they were. So that's when I went on YouTube and like, how do you use a loom? And so I started watching lumahat.com, Denise on lumahat.com. And so I would say that she was probably my first YouTube teacher. as far as like yarn works. And so I started making hats and started making scarves and started making other things. And then I tried arm knitting. I don't remember who I watched, but I didn't like that. Primarily because the yarn was, you have to use this really, really big yarn, and it has this really big hole, gaps in it because it's so loose. And then if it catches, you got to try to fix it. And then you have to walk around with your project on your arm all day until you finish it, unless you're able to lay it down correctly so you can pick it up correctly and be in the right spot. Well, needless to say, like I said, I didn't like that, but I was determined to learn how to knit with knitting needles. And so I learned how to do some basic knitting. And then I was determined to learn how to crochet and like learn more than what come to find out to be double crochet. And obviously I knew how to do a chain because that's how everything pretty much starts, right? So that's how I got started. And then I ran into a video with this Tunisian crochet. I'm like, what is that? So I did see these long hooks in the store. I'm like, what do you do with that? So yeah, so I learned how to do that, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I love just working on something like all the time. When my husband and I go places, it's designed that he does the driving and he knows it. But I travel with stuff like all the time. I take stuff to work, though I wish I really had the time to work on it at work as far as like my lunch breaks or whatever. But I usually don't, honestly, because I'm eating for one, and I don't like to rush and eat my food and inhale it. I need to, enjoy my lunch. And then I end up getting into conversations with people. And sometimes I do a couple of stitches on a small project that I might have with me. But on my days off is when I do a lot of, well, you name it, whatever is on my heart, whatever project that I'm working on that I feel like picking up that day, that's what I'm doing. Okay. So let's see. Who do I follow? I watch a lot of different people, but there are some people that I watch more than others. So I watched Marley Bird a lot as far as like the crocheting and knitting in the beginning, and I still will like go back to some of her videos. Next video, my next episode, I'm gonna share some things that I've made. I don't know exactly when I made most of them. And then I'll talk about some things that I'm working on, what we call whips, now. And what I plan to do, hopefully this year, my plan for this year, things I would like to make, and adventures I'd like to go on in regards to like my yarn crafting. So yeah, I've watched Fiber Spider. Let's see, Fiber Spider mostly again for crocheting and knitting. Good Knit Kisses primarily with loom knitting. Denise with LumaHat.com. TL Yarn Crafts. Yes, that is my Tunisian queen right there. A lot of people said it. I love how all of them teach. For me, they teach in a way that they explain why they're doing stuff. They're not going too fast. They're not going too slow. And I suppose if you go too slow, if they're going too slow or too fast, you can adjust the speed to your liking. But I like that all of them that I've mentioned do try to help us understand why we're doing the stitch the way we're doing the stitch, or the pattern the way the pattern goes. I think a lot of people do try to do that, and there's other people that I've watched. One of my favorite types of crochet is actually mosaic crochet. I really like having a picture. It's part of the fabric, if that makes sense. So Tina, I definitely watch her a lot, and Fiber Fox. What is her name? I'm so sorry. It's not Brittany. Kristen. Sorry, Kristen. It's Kristen Fiber Fox. She does a lot of mosaic crochet as well. I started watching BB. Sorry, I don't remember like the full name of the YouTube video, but I have gotten a lot of their patterns, and I actually started working on one of her patterns. So I will share that again with you all next week. All right. So those are the main folks that I do follow. And like I said, I'll come across some other stuff, and I will um, either try to make the pattern or like put it on a like yes like a like, or it shows in my history. So when I feel the spirit to like work on that item, I can go back and find the video, or just search their video and it'll pop up, and then I'll just work on it. So, but anyway, if you like my video, hit like, and if you want to subscribe, hey, I appreciate that too. I do want to say why I'm joining the YouTube family. It is not to make this my full-time thing, but you know what? I am inspired by all of you YouTubers out there who like this is your bread and butter and it is working for you. I don't get jealous very easy, but I can honestly say I might be a little bit jealous. A little bit. But that's okay, because someday, if this happens for me, then great. But I'm not putting that pressure on me. I enjoy creating fabric. I enjoy making wraps and shawls and hats and some other things I haven't even tried yet, but I'm going to give it a shot, such as mittens. My poor little fingers. Actually, I usually have on gloves right now because my hands are always cold. I just enjoy it so much, and I just wanted to talk about it to the YouTube world of crafting and crochet and knitting, etc. And yeah, that's it. If more comes out of it, I will not be mad about that either. So again, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to subscribe, thank you, and hit subscribe. I'll see you next week, and we'll talk about my whips. Thank you.